Hello everyone, this is Tyler, and this is going to be my Peni Parker guide. Taking this for a few people who I know either want to play Penny or are looking to better their gameplay on Tank or Penny in general. This is how many hours I have on there. I have almost 31 hours, and I have 223 matches played with 142 wins. A little bit over 3,000 kills and 650 assists. I'm going to teach you the basics of our kit, what to look for, what to do, explain how much things do, how many mines to kill people, how to set up your nests, what to do with your nests, and how to actually confirm kills. So this is what we're going to do. Starting off with her primary. Her primary is 40 damage a hit
Whoever they are,
to the body,
they don't look friendly.
and you have infinite ammo, so you can pretty much keep firing this thing if you'd like. It takes about 9 hits to kill Cloak and Dagger
Spider
without
for the
any
win.
other of your kit, any other help from your kit. One thing to notice about her headshot multiplier is it's different from regular headshot multipliers. This does about 1.5 times your body shot compared to the 2 times damage you get for someone like Hella and whatnot. So
It just wasn't your day.
6 shots to kill Cloak and Dagger. That's pretty much the basics of our primary. This here is your nest. It's the basics of your kit. Basically, this is what your kit's gonna revolve around, other than your mines, which we'll get to in a second. Your nest produces up to 10 drones that do 40 HP per hit, and they grant a slow effect ever since Season 4. There are ways you can connect your nest to expend it with your web. So your web can have about a penny's length away and it still connects. For example.
My trap worked.
These nests are not connected.
Spider.
But obviously,
Whoever they are,
the web's not connected with the nest, but it still has enough room to keep moving. So this is one of the most versatile parts of the kit. It allows you to do some really good setups, like on Convergence, Wakanda map. Very good, map for Penny. I've seen a lot of different holds, and I'll show you one that I use later on in the video. The next part of her kit, like I said, are her webs. So these are the webs. You can use these to expand your nest. We can also use them to snare enemies. This is very important for snaring, ults like Wanda ult, Blade ult, really game-changing ults. You can legit snare Penny out of her ult. Ultron you can snare out.
Here comes trouble.
Ton of people. I'll put some clips later on in the video and we'll go over it later on then. But this is just pretty much some good use of her webs. There's also a mobility move with her web that spawns a new web. And this goes up to about, I believe, 40 meters. And I usually always try to detach as soon as I'm connected, because then your cooldown will restart. It allows better mobility. One thing to also know about your nest is you get increased shield and movement speed every time you're in a web. So this connects for both your web and your nest. Another thing about this web is your mines are going to be invisible so they are indestructible and invisible whenever they're in this nest. So the only way to get rid of the mines whenever they're in a nest is to try to do a bait out. If that makes sense.
Here comes trouble.
Basically, to min-max your kit is putting webs or putting these mines around her web or her nests. I like to keep them, if I'm doing a thing called electrical nesting, which I'll get into soon. I'll make sure I have a nice sort of line of webs, and I'll
Mine's
make
in
sure I'll put
place.
mines in these webs, or I'll put them in enemy like out of enemy LOS. So if they come close to like something like this wall, and they're coming too close, they will get blown up. Stuff like that. Just be careful with your mines, because I mean they're not on they're on a short cooldown, but they're also your base of her kit. These are where you can get your most damage, even if you're like firing your
It just wasn't
primary.
your day.
This is where you can get most of your damage from.
This is gonna
Your
hurt.
mines. So you can have up to, I
Whoever
believe,
they
I
are,
want to
they don't
say
look
16
friendly.
mines out at a time before they start exploding, and they despawn, I believe, after a minute. So they're already starting to go. So let's get into the next thing. Positioning your nest is a very important
You
thing.
know what to do, spiders?
Out of enemy LOS is very important. So let's say if this dagger right here was an enemy, right? She can't see my nest, but yet my nest is still extended out to here, where her team would be. It's very important to make sure your nest doesn't get destroyed, and the importance of knowing when to break your nest if your enemies can't see it, because you don't want your nest to go on cooldown. So this is the rocket team up.
Extra strength
It
awesomeness.
allows you to expand your nest pretty far. This is more utility based, in my opinion. This is one I'll have in my backline to protect my healers if they need somewhere to go. But it's also worth noting,
I'm counting on you, friends.
all these drones can connect and kill someone if they are all together. And I'm pretty sure these spawn up the same amount of drones. So 10 drones here, 10 drones here, and I believe this one's a little different. It spawns mines and drones, and it doesn't have as many. It also spawns up to 5 drones. They also do 40 damage each. So having all these together is pretty deadly, especially if you're trying to protect like a point or
Here
something on
comes
defense,
trouble.
or even on offense. If you get these behind a certain, if you get these on like a certain like wall in their backline, they're not gonna be able to destroy it if you're diving them. That is something you can do with Penny, and it is pretty common. I mean, you're not the most invulnerable target. Obviously, you don't have a shield or nothing, but you do have a great movement ability. Healing aspect and movement boosts you can do. So, it's always good to have, more mines in your kit, or more nests in your kit. So having a rocket on your team, especially with him being buffed in Season 4.5, is a very good addition to Penny's overall survivability and kit. Having Rocket's Nest is very good. Like I said, it offers utility and more damage. Both of these should be out of LOS. Rocket, I mean, I don't know if you're always going to be communicating to Rocket or not. If you can put it in a good spot with your nest, it's up to you for him. Or if you can put it somewhere safer, it will obviously give the team a revive. Either one works. So now I'm gonna teach you about web stacking. Basically, what web stacking is like how many nests or how many webs you have down, and they all contribute to your overall healing and shield. So there's been clips of people who have held points just by putting all these webs down right here and standing on point, healing themselves. Like say if it's a 1v1 on point, and obviously your DPS or their DPS, your tank, or you got like a 2v1 on point. It's not going to be helpful that you're taking a bunch of damage and no support, no nothing. So it's good to, if you're able to be all in the same area and then moving around within your nest, just moving around, being agile, able to heal and get overshield. So I mean, this is not the most important part of your kit, because you'd obviously rather be able to extend your nest or snare enemies, and you want to make sure you keep the basis of your nest alive, is what I like to call it. And always having your if you screw up your nest, if you miss like a web on an enemy, I mean, it happens sometimes, but this is very good. to know about at least. So
Whoever
you
they
always
are,
want to
time
keep
for
using
some
your mines off
fireworks.
cooldown if you can, because like I said, they only have like a minute lifespan and they're easily broken. Um, and they're also easily baited out. Um, it's always important to also not be what I call a nester. I kind of get in this earlier, but basically sitting on your nest is not always good at times, so you can't always frontline. Um, so yeah, it's good at times to, it's just if you don't have a frontline, you gotta play more passively to be there for your team. But don't be a nester. You don't want to always be a nester, because being able to take care of flankers, especially if you have like semi-competent DPS that don't have to take care of flankers, your backline dies. It's important that you take that role and you take care of flankers. Set up mines in areas where they can't flank, or even set up a nest for, like I said, have your rocket nest for your healers to go into. Because, like I said, they can get health packs, they can get protection from the divers, or at least enough protection until you can come help them. Now there's gonna be a few different things. If you do Penny on attack, you should know how to play aggressive without dying. Obviously, if you're playing tank, nonetheless Penny, you should know how to get in and get out without dying. But even with Penny, you can pretty much just be a nuisance on the backline. Set up mines on the backline whenever they are like in front of you. So basically, how I describe this is playing defense while on attack. You want to make the enemies come toward you, so that your team has room to move up. That's the best way I can describe making room on Penny. Making way. I'll probably do an example of that later on in the video if I can find one.
Whoever they are, they don't look friendly.
If you want to really play Penny, you can't always play her in certain scenarios. Obviously, if they have too much hit scan and high damage DPS, and your healers can't survive or whatnot, you can't always play Penny. That's what I wish I could. 24/7. She's just a bad character. She's just very situational, as you could say. So I mean, learning a different tank like Strange or Magneto, very good. I play Hulk as well. Great tank if you are experienced tank player. One more thing, you should know about learning how to bait and switch. So that means, basically what I mean by that is, baiting and switching is having your webs around, like over here, putting a bunch of mines out, right? And let's say, oh, your tank, or like the enemy tank is coming over here and they're pushing in, because you see, obviously there's no mines or webs distracting them. Say they're gonna start pushing out mindlessly, and if you have your mine nest behind like an LOS, like out of their LOS, that's whenever you'll do your bait and switch and roll them in. So let's say, for example, a Magneto is like right here, right, and his teammates are pushing up. I would put like a nest in their back line, and he'd walk past it. Obviously, it serves no purpose to him. He can walk past it. Well, once he starts getting closer to your nest, you can do like a little web strand on the ground, right? And then stun them, and then all your mines are gonna come over and start hitting him and slow him. Not to mention, your snares on like a 3-second cooldown, 4-second cooldown. So, it's easy to just keep popping off and get them in. Another thing is, her ult is absolutely terrible. To use Penny ult, I'd say just make sure you throw out all your mines first, and then always make sure you can have a clear way to get in and get out. People use this as a defensive ult. It's not bad that way. I mean, it obviously can keep you alive. But the way I see it is, if you just have your nest, connected, you just go into their backline, keep going. I usually try to drop a few mines as I'm going, especially if they're trying to walk, and I'll show you an example of that later. Because if they're trying to escape from you, and you're using your ult, you can body block them and get them in certain positions where they're forced to pretty much just die. There's ways to use this ult more aggressively than people think. Obviously, no, it's not a great ult. Even with the buff that came out in Season 4, it's pretty terrible. Another thing you should know about is lineups. Lineups are certain, like, you gotta pretty much play like an astronomer, especially like someone like the Wakanda maps. You gotta learn to like look at some of the stars and know where to throw your mines to get cross maps. I'll show you a few examples of those later on, and I'm gonna show you a few examples of me playing Penny on attack now. Alright, here's a game I played against a top 500 Psylocke on this team, on their team, and this is the game I actually got to play Penny on attack. So I'll kind of go through what I was thinking, and you know, anytime I was kind of looking for certain openings, and if anything comes up, I'll just talk about it real fast. Okay. So off the bat, I locked my Penny, and I went into the game, and I'm going for a lineup here. This is one of the most common lineups. I would learn how to do it if I were you. So you kind of want to line up here on the edge, right here.
Just like me.
And you kind of want to aim for this leaf right here. Just kind of come over a little bit past this other vine. So look for this leaf and this vine, a little bit down. And you kind of want to aim it. I'll show you where this lands. Just a little bit past this leaf, around the edge of this. So this actually ended up getting the Psylocke player because they landed right here.
Stay strong.
That's where they land. I come up here.
I'm counting on you, friends.
Using my movement with my nest. Here's another lineup. So
the battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When I play attack on this map with Penny, this is the way I go because I use a lineup that I haven't really seen a lot of people use. I found this one in a practice game whenever I was just kind of goofing around trying to look for different lineups on this map.
Securing the mission area.
So I go this way, use my nest for a little bit of speed boost, and I look for this leaf right here, and I put my foot on it. Then I look up, and I look for this kind of green star in this console, like this area, and like about right here is where I aim.
Mine's in place.
And this will actually end up landing right here in the middle of their battlefield. So this is not a bad lineup, especially if they're playing right here. They're not going to see this unless they start moving back, and by the time it's too late, if they move back, they might die from it. So that set off one mine, and it almost got the Phoenix there. Then I come over here, and I do this again, because you know this is a very effective lineup. Very effective lineup. Because not everyone really knows about this one.
It seems we have company.
Time for some fireworks.
So when this lands again, I end up actually, I'm pretty sure securing a kill if I remember correctly. Yep, I got the Jeff there, so that took out one support out of the fight. And then we just support all and we win this fight.
We are undefeatable. Systems restoring.
Put some mines down, you know. Okay, so try to go out that way.
Tremble before fast.
Whatever. Start setting up over here. This is not a bad spot, especially if you're
Time for some
just kind of get like a little bit of
Here comes trouble.
they get like a little bit of
Powering up.
momentum because they can't come around and hit your nest from that LOS. I used to use this to get in there. I'm throwing a bunch of mines over so that throw a bunch of mines in, and I didn't realize half my team was dead, so I'm like, okay, let's take it back. So we all kind of come over here. I kind of set up this again. That's also not a bad little area, but it's also not the greatest. She finally went for the ult, so I go for her in the back. Web her, she gets dead. Gets dead from that, so not bad.
You know what to do, spiders.
Putting a nest right here is actually not a bad idea, or like putting a web wrap there, because if someone tries to flank up there, you have a few mines, if anything. Even if you miss, even if you were going for someone, you miss like I did there, it's not bad to put your web up there. That way, if someone's trying to come down, you especially have a nest here, it connects up here, and you can slow someone, and put a bunch of mines up there, so that, insta die.
You know what to do, spiders.
So this is kind of where I kind of lost kind of hope,
Counting on you,
but
friends.
just lock in, bro.
Spiders, get the job.
Good, take out the flanker. Get the other flanker back up. I see the healer out of position,
Powering up.
but our healers are also taking damage. So I come back.
It's spider time.
We have a sport ult and Peni ult, so I'm throwing a bunch of mines where they are going to end up going.
Tremble before.
Black Panther dies. I see Rocket here, so I try going for him, but obviously I'm in my ult, so I can't do anything. Rocket just runs away.
On you, friends. This is gonna
Black
hurt.
Panther's kind of eating in our back line real quick, but I'm just trying to focus on trying to hold that front line. Take care of him once I got the front line secured, and now I go forward and start to get some momentum up here.
This is gonna
I hear
hurt.
their magic behind. Web her, start taking some damage, and then
You know
she
what
dies
to
some
do,
mines.
spiders.
Keep momentum going.
God is so powering up.
Now they're playing Blade, which is not a bad choice. Maybe in season 4, it's kind of not a great choice, but season 4.5, good choice. Missed my web, so I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not really that bad. I don't have a great nest up anyway. But now that's whenever I start eating with my nest set up. They double support ult again. So I know they're gonna end up coming back. So I just kind of drop a bunch of mines and drop a ton of mines right where they have to come back. Like I end up killing the C&D, the Mage, and the Rocket. The Salak is very agile, so I keep missing my nest. This is a good example what I mean earlier. Right here, it's a good example earlier when I mean this is when you want to kind of like bait and switch a nest. You bait and switch your nest. Obviously, I'm trying to focus on something elsewhere, but obviously, my mines aren't, or my nests aren't here, so they're not. My mines are just kind of sitting here, not doing anything. This is what I said, bait and switch. Put a web the ground, and then stun them, and all your drones are gonna come over here and attack them. Look, and he blow up instantly.
One lucky cat.
He didn't know I hit him.
You're up, little one.
Put a few webs down. Got the Black Panther, and they stood in their nest. Got the Rocket. Saw the magic. Saw the kill. Got her. I could have stopped the ult there, but I broke the nest just in case it started to break. And the Black Panther is just trying to touch. Skylock, tried to touch, just got stunned. So very good attack game. Not everyone was very competent on their team. But I mean, against a top 500 Skylock, I can't really complain. Ended up getting MVP on their team. 17 final hits, most damage blocked. I did kind of play Nest in this game more. But that's okay. This is one of the maps you can play Nest on attack, as long as you do the right thing. And do the right thing and you take space when you can. Especially on like that third point there, you know, they've got a long time for that convergence point to move up. So with the convergence point moving up, it's important that you try to go at least hold that area where I did with the staircase. And then we got there in like 30 seconds and they were holding on cart. So here's a comp game I played on Penny. We were defending at first and then attacking. So here's one of the best nest setup, especially if you have a rocket on this map. Right here in the corner, out of their LOS, they can't see it. And right here for your utility nest, they can't see this one either. And it always pops out armor packs over here on the where you're fighting. Also right here, it'll take care of flankers, so you don't have to worry about flankers. Don't know what the hell I did there, so I'm gonna come back over here. Come back to me. This is where I usually like to hold on this map. This is not a bad hold, but once you will see me set up some mines right here. Very good mine spot because they're just gonna keep walking. Another good mine spot is right here. They're not gonna notice it there either, so I'm just gonna aim that little top area. And when they're walking, they'll either walk out this side or this side. But if they walk outside that left side, they're gonna die. So Groot goes on the right, Magic goes right, but that's when I blew up the Luna, so one support's already out of the fight. Look at that. What if the Groot so my Venom can get out?
You've got my back. I've got yours.
They look lost, so I'm like, okay, this thing kind of sucks. So I will, I put my nest up here, and that's when I start my full hold. Because you can do this against certain teams that are just kind of mid. No offense. You will see how much I eat during this game. I've seen a thing pretty much blown up instantly out of this healer's LOS for some reason. I kind of got pushed forward, but my nest didn't even, or my weapon didn't even register, so it's fine. I'm just screw up my hold. I usually just kind of automatically hold the primary fire because, you know, it's infinite ammo. You might as well. You don't have to conserve your ammo like you would have to on like Strange. I use my ult to make sure they're hauled here. If they were smart, they could have just went up here like this Hella's doing, and then went around like right over here where you can't see my nests. Or, you know, you fly over a bird as Hella and then go over to this corner or up top over here, destroy my nest, make room for your team. But another easy counter here was Phoenix, and they just didn't play Phoenix, so. And that's it, Iron Fist. No one touched this point, and we win instantly. That game only took 4.5 minutes. So these are just some different ways you can play Penny. I'll put in a clip of me, like, kind of like blocking, like, different characters, whenever, like, you're using your ults and whatnot. So, that has been it for the Penny Guide. I mean, hopefully this is a little bit educational and showed you a little bit of gameplay and what I was thinking. Hope you all have a wonderful day and have a lovely night.